So I've been carrying the P365 X Macro with the comp for months now in my concealed carry rotation. Just show everybody that this is clear, right? And about 2 months ago, I picked up the EPS carry from HoloSun, and I needed a pistol to put it on. And at the same time, I saw the P365 X Macro TacOps in the gun store. This is clear also. And I picked this firearm up, which got me thinking, well, what's the difference between these two firearms? Because this one, I believe, with the comp, I paid somewhere in the neighborhood of $800 for it. And this one, the TacOps, was $750, $749, something like that. So we'll start by looking at some of the differences. First of all, both of these are using the XL length slide. Just one has the expansion chamber and one doesn't. The differences in the firearms, other than the expansion chamber and the fact that this is the one with the expansion chamber, is still using the 3.1 inch barrel from the standard P365. The other differences are, for the TacOps, you get an extended release, slide catch slide release is extended, and you get this mag well. The package also comes with 4 magazines instead of just 2. So you get more magazines, you get the mag well, and this doesn't get in the way of concealed carry, okay? So I've heard some people, or seen some people say that this prints. This only prints if you're wearing really skinny clothes, which I don't wear tight-fitting clothes. So it doesn't print. And the extra slide release here, the extended slide release, is actually kind of nice because the one on the standard is sort of hard to get to. But this is an improvement. Other than that, they're the exact same. They have the same trigger, and the trigger in both of these guns, for a concealed carry gun, there's a take up, wall, little bit of creep, break, reset, break. Standard striker fire handgun trigger. They're acceptable for concealed carry. So both of these are good enough. So it really comes down to, the difference is the main difference, besides the price and the additional 4 mags that you get for $50 less with this firearm, comes down to the expansion chamber, and does this really work? So why did I start carrying this in my rotation? I'll tell you why I started carrying it to begin with. I started carrying it because it holds 17 rounds. This is incredibly thin for a 17 round handgun. Here's some other guns to compare to that hold 17 rounds. There's the Glock 17, and this is cleared, but I'm not going to do that. 17, and this is, look how much longer that is. Look how much longer the grip is and how much thicker. So that's the Glock 17, and that holds 17 rounds. Here's the Echelon from Springfield. This holds 17 rounds. Again, this is a full-size slide, a lot thicker, a lot longer. So another gun. Here's the P30 from H&K, and again, this is empty. All right. This gun is not super long compared to it in the slide, but it's really thick. It's a chunky gun too. So for 17 rounds, this is actually a very good concealed carry firearm. Easy to conceal, good capacity, etc. All right, so does this actually work? Here, I've seen different things. I've seen some folks say that it doesn't work at all, and I've seen people say that SIG claims and that they think that it reduces recoil and muzzle flip by 30%. My personal opinion is that it's somewhere in the middle. It doesn't, I don't know what 30% recoil reduction is. I don't know how to measure that, but it's somewhere in the middle. What I think it does do is you get back on target quicker because the slide is lighter and there is some release of gas pressure in the expansion chamber, right? So you get back on target faster. So if you're shooting slow or steady pace, you're not going to see a lot of difference between this firearm and the X Macro or the one without the expansion chamber, right? So if you're shooting just steady pace, you're not going to see a whole lot of difference. Where the difference comes in is when you start to shoot faster, a lot faster. This returns to zero quicker. The slide cycles, feels like to me at least, it cycles a little bit faster. And I guess there's a little less muzzle flip if you think about the fact that it's returning to zero faster, right? So there must be a little less muzzle flip. I don't know what 30% is, but is this worth the extra $50 for this and the not getting things like the magwell and the extended slide release and the additional 2 magazines for that matter, right? Is it worth it to get the comp or the ports or the expansion chamber at the end? It's not ports, but the expansion chamber at the end. That's completely up to you, right? I just think that there's been so many people back and forth. It doesn't work at all. It does work. It's somewhere in the middle of what everybody is saying. As somebody that bought both of these firearms with their own money, has carried both of these firearms, and shot the holy shit out of both of these firearms at this point, right? I've put hundreds and hundreds of rounds through these guns. It does do something. So it's kind of up to you there if you want to. I will say the other reason I started carrying this now, and I'll tell you why. I started carrying this over the one with the ports because I do shoot my concealed carry gun a lot. When I go to the range, whatever I'm shooting, one of my competition guns or whatnot, I still end up putting a couple of boxes at least through my concealed carry firearm that I'm carrying that day, and a lot of times I'm carrying this. And I don't like to clean. I don't like to clean the expansion chamber. It gets a bunch of junk in there, and having to clean that out. I don't like cleaning guns, period, but having to clean that out is a pain in the ass. So I don't shoot that as much anymore, and I carry this. The other thing is the slightly longer barrel on this firearm. You get 30, 40 feet per second more. 9mm is already sort of an underpowered round when you compare it to other 357 Magnum or 10mm or even 40, right? 9mm is a slight underpowered. So every 30, 40 feet per second isn't a lot, but it's 30 or 40 feet per second. We're not talking about a rifle round that's going 3,000 feet per second. We're talking about a handgun round that's well under 1,500 feet per second. So you get a little more velocity out of this. Also, there's a slight bit more weight in the front of this gun. Obviously, I mean, that just makes sense because there's no barrel right here. There's no barrel right here. The barrel, let's see. The barrel stops back here, right? So it's obviously going to be lighter up front. And from shooting shotguns and trap, right, you know that a little extra weight on the front end keeps your swing steadier and also keeps the movement down a little bit, right? It stabilizes the gun a slight bit. So that little bit of extra weight makes this gun more stable. So while I can shoot this one faster, and I bet most people can, right, because of the fact that it just cycles quicker, this one seems more accurate on the draw to me because of the extra weight when I'm pointing it. It just steadies it out. that could all be in my head. Again, these are all my opinions. Take all this with a grain of salt, and you do what you want to do. But I'm just giving you my opinion as somebody that bought and paid for both of these guns with my own money. I shoot quite a bit, actually, and you know, nobody's sending me things to review, so I can tell you exactly what I think of these firearms, right? So I'm not sure. I don't believe personally that this is worth the extra money when you can get this with the upgrades, the additional 2 magazines, and the fact that this gun is stable enough for concealed carry. Now, again, for concealed carry, if you're buying one of these to also be your competition handgun as well, like this could be a do-all gun. It could be your bedside gun, 17 rounds, big enough to handle, right? Big enough to get a good grip on. It could be your competition gun as well, because again, 17 rounds, but you can get extended base plates, so you can extend this. Now, obviously, can be your concealed carry firearm, because this is probably one of the best. I'm not going to say this is a compact gun. One of the best, almost full-size guns that you can carry as far as concealed carry. So, again, this could be your do-all gun. And if this is your one and only do-all gun, and this is the one that you're looking at, you've decided on the X Macro, I'd say spend the extra $50, get the one with the ports, or the comp, and buy a couple extra magazines, right? If it's just basically for concealed carry, which that's what I use it for, is basically concealed carry, then this is the one that I would recommend. It's cheaper, you get more magazines, and you get some additional upgrades. There's also a version of this with this slide without the comp that doesn't have the mag well and the extended release, and it only comes with 2 magazines, but I think you can get it for $650. So if you're looking for this gun but you want to save as much money as possible, you can probably go out and get one for $650, and it would be basically this firearm with the 3.7 inch barrel, longer barrel, right? And no comp, no mag well, and no extended release, just the regular slide release. 2 mags for $650. So that would be the budget option that I would go with, actually. And then you can add these other pieces. These pieces can be added later, right? So anyway, again, I just wanted to kind of throw that out there, because I actually took both of these out the other day and we're shooting them side by side, because I was trying to figure out, well, does it really work at all? So I took them both out, and it does do something, but I don't think that I don't know what 30% is, but it does do something. So anyway, that's my opinion. Take it for what it's worth, and as long as you're carrying a firearm and staying safe, run whatever gun you see fit. Thanks. Have a good day. Hey, so I'm out on the range, and I was switching over red dots on 2 of my carry guns. This one is the SIG P365 X Macro TacOps version, and I was moving the EPS carry to this gun. And this is the P365 X Macro with the milled ports. So other part of this video, I'll go over, if I haven't already, the differences between these guns. But right now I just want to take a few shots to let you see if you think there's a difference in recoil, or what I think actually. I'm not sure that there's a difference in recoil necessarily, but the one with the slide cut ports, expansion chamber, this one seems to cycle a little bit faster, maybe. I don't know. There's no round in this chamber. I'm going to put it in my pocket. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and fire 5 shots with, no real pace, and then 5 shots with some sort of pace. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with this firearm. This is the one with the milled expansion chamber in the end of the barrel compensator, whatever they want to call it. Turn the dot on. So I'll let you make up your mind. Both of these are now empty. I actually do think I can feel a little bit of weight difference in this one, but I actually feel like this one does recoil a slight bit less, maybe. But mostly what I see out of the one with the milled ports is the fact that the slide seems to cycle faster. So that's where I'm at right now. I'll do a comparison of these guns on tabletop so you can see the difference, and then I'll discuss them a little bit more.